Imagine entering a plane and then the captain says, good morning, everyone. This is Pius Muchiri, your captain, and today is my first flight ever.
Yeah.
How would you feel?
On this episode of Financially Incorrect Business Edition, we get into the Nabo Capital story, a business that started as a department under Centum and has gone on to grow. In 2024, their assets under management was 14.83 billion Kenya shillings. We speak to Pius Muchiri, who has been the managing director at Nabo Capital since its inception. We speak about his early influences of money.
My first 11,000 bob, I got home. You can understand the circumstances I had come from. And, the first thing I did was to give my mom 1,000 bob, my dad 1,000 bob, my sister 1,000 bob, my brother 1,000 bob. By the 10th of the following month,
Yes.
I was broke.
The difference between accountants and investors.
In essence, accounting is backward looking. Investment is forward looking. Investment is all about having a sneak preview into the future, and whoever has a better sneak preview tends to win.
He gets to Centum after 4 years in his career.
I came to me and asked me, Pius, can I have your CV? And I said, where are you taking my CV? And don't ask questions, just give me your CV. The next thing, I got a call from Centum.
We talk about the ambitious goals Centum had under the CEO, Dr. James Moria. In that 5-year period,
Yes,
or maybe in year 1, year 2, year 3, are there any moments of doubt where it looks like this 30 billion target is not going to be achievable?
No.
And no.
And I'm being humble about it.
Hear about 18 million shillings and the day that Nabo Capital begins in earnest.
To start, I'm given 18 million shillings to meet the capital requirements of being a fund manager. That will help us to, set up the systems and everything. And I'm also given a corner office. So it felt very strange to see another corner office.
Yes.
Imagine, I believe there was only supposed to be one CEO.
Yes. We talk about how Nabo Capital's revenues have changed over the years.
We used to be 20% retail, 80% corporate. We are now 70% retail, 30% corporate.
He tells us what he believes is the best pound for pound dollar investment to make in the Kenyan market right now.
In investment, we don't talk about return alone. We talk about risk and return.
Yes. And his hope to have 30 million total investment accounts in Kenya.
We can be at 30 million active retail investors in this market. And Nabo is on the front end of that.
Yeah.
I'll be very satisfied that we fulfilled a mission that not only impacted on our shareholders and our clients, but we changed the market forever.
Yeah. This is Nabo Capital's money story. Everybody, thank you so much for watching our content. If you're watching this video, it means you're on the Financially Incorrect channel, and I want to thank you. We have 82,000 subscribers on YouTube right now, and we're trying to get to 100,000. Only 18,000 more to go. And what we found out is about 60% of you guys who watch our content aren't actually subscribed. So if you like our content, share it with a friend, but most importantly, do subscribe. Let's try and get that 100,000 mark. Also, we have a lot of stuff planned out for 2026. We have a lot of community events that we're looking to do. So please keep on our social platforms so that you can be updated when we release new stuff, because this year is going to be big. Everybody, welcome back to Financially Incorrect Business Edition. Happy Tuesday. I hope your Tuesday is going well. I hope I know when this episode is going to go out now. This is 2 episodes in a row, and I know, so that's fantastic. So I know that it's going to be just before mid-month. So make sure you don't finish all of your money before the month is done, and I hope you're making great money decisions. This is a business edition. I'm really looking forward to it. And I think I'm trying to figure out when because we have now interviewed, technically speaking, I think we've interviewed 3 or 4 people who have come from a Centum bloodline, so to speak. And, and today we're going to do number 4. The business we're going to be talking about today is Nabo Capital. And with me, I have Pius Muchiri, who is a CFA and is the managing director of Nabo Capital. And in his bio, he says that he helps enjoying people and institutions make money. He has 20 years of investment experience in Africa. He's a Tutu fellow as well, and a devoted Christian, certified coach. Welcome to Financially Incorrect.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah?
And I didn't know I was number 4.
Yes, number 4
Who are
of
these others
Centum
who came
Bloodline.
before
The
me?
others are. Let's see if I can remember them. So Kerubo, I think, was the first.
Oh, okay.
Then we had Alan,
Uh-huh.
who's now running Brown Cap.
Yes.
And then we have had Val from Africa Pocket. Yeah. So the 3 who've been here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now we're doing senior leadership. So hopefully
we are getting to the top.
getting to the top. Hopefully we can get to the top sooner rather than later. Anyway, okay. My first question is always a non-money question. And so the question I have for you is, what's the last habit you wanted to break that you have either broken or are on the way to breaking?
What a difficult way to start.
Yeah.
What's the last habit I
Yeah.
wanted to break? Or okay. This is in regard to money?
No. In life.
In life.
Yeah.
In life.
It could be anything.
Interesting.
Wanting to, it could be, wanting to have less sugar, drive less,
Oh my gosh.
or use your phone less as you're driving.
Actually, that's a good one because I'm very keen on physical fitness, and for as long as I can remember, I've never really been big, but I've also never had a six-pack,
Right.
But there's one thing that I've never really tried, and that's to restrain my sugar intake, and I mean the carbs. So this year I set out to just watch the carbs. I really hated this idea of counting calories. In fact, I vowed I will never ever. I cannot bring myself to the point I have to count calories. Yes, the idea is just very repulsive. But discovered through AI. In fact, ChatGPT. Just take a picture of my meal with ChatGPT. Oh my gosh, the number of calories I was taking. So it started shipping my sugar intake. But I still have those moments of temptation. Like yesterday I was in a function somewhere. My first plate was awesome.
No
protein
sugar,
rich,
no
sugar, no nothing. But I saw a cookie and I was like, man, it kept just coming back. Eventually I succumbed.
Fair enough.
So
Yeah.
I can't say it's a
But
it's
it's
a
the
battle
process.
I've won.
Yeah.
I'm in the process.
Yeah.
We made some progress, and I'm enjoying it.
What's the most challenging thing you've experienced? And in addition to that, have you noticed any difference, when your carbs and sugar deficit vis-a-vis before?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember the first 3 months, I was so stringent because I took a picture of everything that I was taking. So sometimes, I ended up my favorite carbs being sweet potatoes and arrowroots. And even then, I was so surprised that you also can't overconsume them.
Yes.
So I would have like 3 or 4 slices. I take a picture. The macros come, and I'm like, and ChatGPT says, if you just half your sweet potatoes, you'll be okay. And it's such a decision. You have to take 2 pieces and put them on the side. And then now you come back. Is this okay? Like, yeah 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
So it's been a interesting but also very challenging journey.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially just to take the pictures.
Yeah.
That requires a lot of discipline. It's simple, but it requires a lot of discipline. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we'll speak at the end of the year, see how see where you're at.
And by the way, there is still no six-pack.
Even now,
outside.
you're still.
It is inside. It's hidden.
But it's on the way.
I can feel it.
But it's on the way.
I can feel it.
Yeah.
But you cannot see it.
I see you. I hear you. All right. Let's get into your money story, or rather, understanding how Nabo it has existed as a business. But before that, let's hear a bit about you. What forms your understanding of money initially? How old are you when you learn that sort of money makes the world go round?
My relationship with money started when I was very young. My dad was a banker. Um, used to dress in very nice suits. He looked the part. He was my hero. But he lost his job along the way, and our family plunged into poverty. And I remember that day when the news hit us. My mom was really crying. That's a day you never forget. But I remember internally making a vow that I will find a solution to this thing. But we were not prepared as a family for what was coming. It's interesting just how life looks normal for so many of us. Yet when one or two things are taken away, you find that it's just been a house of cards. So it sent me into a path that I didn't even know then, but my mind was trying to unravel. How is it possible that your life can be okay as a family in one season, and then the following season you cannot even you cannot be sure where your next meal will come from. So I started trying to resolve that as a young. I was probably around 11 years old. So I ended up studying BCom, Kabete Pesa. So you can see money.
Yes.
I did accounting, again, thinking that, I would find my answer in accounting. Started working as an accountant at AAR, worked there for 3 years. I also worked at Toyota East Africa as an accountant. And those 4 years taught me something. I was always the guy who was left behind in the office whilst the sales guys were enjoying their money. I was there, the first one, 6 a.m. in the morning, and I was the last one. Earliest, I think, in Toyota I left was about 8 p.m. So I was like, something is wrong with this whole picture. I'm always reconciling the past, and the guys who created the chaos are never in the office. So I made a decision that I need to stem away from accounting into investment. Someone had introduced the idea of investment just when I was about to leave campus. So when the opportunity came knocking to join Centum, it was an easy decision for me. And I can say I found my space.
Yeah.
I found my answer that when we get our first jobs, or when we are working for someone, we are like a child who is breastfeeding, but you can't breastfeed forever. After 6 months, a child you have to start the weaning off process.
Yes.
So my job really is to help people to wean them off, depending on any source of income, be it even your business, be it your salary, and get to a place where you're actually living your life of passive income, meaning money coming into your bank account even when you're sleeping.
Yeah.
So that's where I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A couple of questions. I read somewhere that by the time you're in class 6, which I think is when you're saying about 11 years old, you start buying your own clothes.
Yes. You've done some research.
How does that happen? What enterprise are you doing to begin to buy your own clothes?
I think first of all, life was cheap.
Yeah.
And number two, there was no option for me after my dad lost his job. Things were so thick, we couldn't afford rent, we couldn't afford many things in life. And asking for anyone to buy clothes for me was really a luxury. So I figured out something that was working for myself. I used to be given 1 shilling on Friday. And would spend 50 cents. Today's children cannot even understand the value of money. I would spend 50 cents and I would put 50 cents aside in my piggy bank. And at the end of the term, I would have, 8, 10 shillings, or even 20 sometimes. And so on closing day, I used to go to Gikomba. Many people probably know Gikomba. I knew what was sold where. I knew where to find the shorts. I knew, and that also got me into fashion. I knew what was in fashion at any point in time, and shorts were going for like 3 bob, 5 bob, a top, another 3 bob, 5 bob.
Yeah.
I can't remember buying anything for 10 bob.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, and
So that's how you're sort of buying the clothes.
so I started buying clothes for myself, and
Okay.
I never looked back after that.
Okay.
Yes.
What's your favorite financial memory with your nuclear family as you are growing up?
Mm. I think my favorite financial memory is, dad arriving home and calling us to, carry uchumi paper bags from the boot. Uh, it's such a simple thing today, but for me that was, you still remember the white and red paper bags,
Right.
uchumi paper bags.
Right.
There was such a good feeling of that we can afford the lifestyle that we wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the very many good things that come with money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So when you're getting through university, even before you start working as an accountant, for the family, is your fees an issue, or
Yes.
are you on scholarship, or how are you surviving? How are you surviving through those uni years?
Oh man. So in high school, my last 2 years, someone offered to pay for my school fees, whom I have never known
You've to this day.
to this day. And because a whole year would pass without me paying even a single shilling, and I would never go home and say by the way I was chased because of school fees, because again I didn't want to put more pressure on my folks. I just used to walk all the way to this library, Kenya National Library.
Yes.
Uhuru Park was open, so you just split through Uhuru Park, go Kenya National Library, spend the whole day. Then in the evening, when people are coming from school, I'm also coming from the library, and I would get into the house. It's a normal day. So I was performing very well, and the teachers were like, "Okay, we need to do something about this. This is a nice guy." So they came up with a formula, and they sorted me out. I didn't know, and I'm very thankful to this day about that. Then going to uni was not an option. I knew if I don't make it for uni, that would be it for me.
Right.
So in our school, I was in Jammu. Tough place to be. Very, very tough place. I think out of 240 students, I was one of the 6. We were only 6 of us who made it to university. So you had to do a lot of extra personal
To make it.
To make it. So got to uni, and thank God, we had help, and my mom worked tirelessly through the systems to make sure that I got full scholarship.
The scholarship there.
Full scholarship,
Yeah.
yes, which I had to pay later.
Yeah.
Thank God for help.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's one of the debts I had to pay.
That you pay when you
with
started
gratitude.
working.
Yes.
Okay. So when you start working as an accountant, I've always wanted to ask an accountant this. When you're looking and you're saying, you're reconciling the past,
Yes.
and you're looking at all these monies that have been spent and all the monies that the companies are
Yes.
paying out,
Yes.
is there ever any resentment around, people who are possibly making more money than you, or having bigger allowances, or whatever the case is? Yeah.
I having trained as an accountant, I immediately realized something. If you're an accountant, the best place to work is in an audit firm, because you're in the core business of that business.
Right.
If you're an engineer, the best place to work is in an engineering firm. Then you're in the
Core business.
If you're I was working in an insurance company, and the people who are breaking in money were the people who are selling. The people who sell premium, that's the core business. So it quickly dawned on me that I will never be able to match the people who are selling, because they're in the core business of what the business is offering.
Yes.
As long as you're bringing. So I was so surprised that receptionists who some of them did not even have a degree, they would transition to selling, and in a couple of months they were making a couple of times what I was making. So it was not, I would not call it resentment, but it was a lesson that I learned. Hey, you need to be in the core business of whatever business you're in.
Yes.
That you bring in the revenues. If
Yeah.
you're part of the people who bring in the revenues, then you'll also get a fair share, because there's a clear connection between what you do
Right.
and the bottom line of the company.
Right.
But for an accountant, and this is very sad for accountants.
Yes.
Because accountants are needed everywhere.
Yes.
So many a times,
Yeah.
if you're in operations or you're an accountant, you'll always find yourself in a space where you probably feel not appreciated enough, because you feel you're not making. You probably think you're adding a lot of value, but you're not
Being paid
Yeah.
commensurate.
But it's across the industries. Any person who is connected with the top line will always end up being compensated higher.
Yeah.
Also, the other lesson I learned was that before our time, CPA K, people who finished their certification, accounting certification, were hotcake. But now, doctors, people who are studying medicine, who are doing accounting, people who are studying engineering, who are doing accounting. So we were so many of us, and therefore the price became cheaper. So what I would advise young people who are starting their career, go into career spaces where you're not in oversupply. Choose career spaces where there is limited supply,
Yes.
and you'll be a few of you, and you can be part of growing that particular industry. And that's exactly what investment industry has been. If you look at the CEOs of the various investment firms, you'll find most of them have been very young. James Moore became CEO of a listed company at 30 years. I became a CEO at 32. And that tells you a story. We're in a space where there are very few people with the kind of skill set that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So by the time you're then now transitioning, or when the Centum, first of all, how does the Centum opportunity come about?
Yes.
And by the time you're going there, how much are you making, and what are your personal money habits around at that time?
Yes. I still remember my first salary was 11,000 bob, because I arrived mid-month.
Yes. So you were paid for half.
Yes. And my first day of work was actually one day before 9/11. So I can never forget that day, because the following day the world changed. My first 11,000 bob, I got home. You can understand the circumstances I had come from, and the first thing I did was to give my mom 1,000 bob, my dad 1,000 bob, my sister 1,000 bob, my brother 1,000 bob. By the 10th of the following month,
Yes.
I was broke. Thank God I was living at home, so
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't a big issue. But I quickly learned that you've got to budget. When I got to Toyota, I was probably earning around 80,000 bob, thereabout. I'd gotten my money disciplined. I can't remember ever asking anybody to help me because I finished my money. And that's a discipline that I've kept even to date. Whatever I have is enough. We will survive with whatever I have.
Right.
But I've also been very careful about the commitments that I get myself into. If I take a loan, it has to be truly for investment.
Yes.
And not for consumption.
Yes.
So any car that I own, I've always bought it cash, because that principle of money is a big one for me. Yeah.
Okay. So how does the Centum opportunity then come about?
So I'm at Toyota. I'm settling down. It's actually my first year in Toyota, 2004. And when I arrived, the person who was supposed to hand over to me uh, felt unknown to me that they were being pushed away. So I arrived in a very hostile environment because everybody else in the department thought that I was had been brought by a godfather, and I was out to make one of them to suffer. So it was very lonely at first because no one was there to train me. I used to work 16 hours a day and still not be able to resolve everything because the people who are supposed to train me had completely set me up.
Right.
Yeah. I was meant to fail.
Right.
But then with time, maybe 3 or 4 months, they realized this guy actually is quite innocent. He has no godfather. This guy is just doing his thing, but then he's even survived through
This
thick and
treatment.
thin. So I think that resilience really touched some of them. And one of them came to me and asked me, Pius, can I have your CV? And I said, where are you taking my CV? And like, don't ask questions, just give me your CV. The next thing, I got a call from Centum. It was a lady, she was called Janet, and her husband was one of the managers at Centum. So to cut the long story short, it took us maybe about 6 months, and I found myself at Centum. So I didn't quite finish 1 year at Toyota. It was just about 11 months.
Right.
Then I transitioned to Centum.
Centum.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about those first couple of years then at Centum.
Yes.
Before even the Dr. James comes back and restructures the business.
Yes.
Yeah. And actually, the other thing I wanted you to explain a little bit better, because I only got a glimpse of it, is the structure of Centum, the government investing arm. I think it was
ICDC.
Yes.
ICDC. Yes.
Yeah, maybe you can give a bit of breakdown about how
yes.
that even came to be, or how that works.
Yeah. You'll be very surprised that the spirit of Chama has been there for a very long time.
Yes.
Because just before we got independence, there was a preparation to receive our independence. And one of the things that was put in place was actually to form ICDC in 1954, if I remember correctly. So ICDC became the investment arm of the government. Upon getting independence, there was a realization that investment activity was just for a few elite people, and majority of the Kenyans were being left out of the investment world. So the then president, the late Jomo Kenyatta, gave a special consent for a few elite Kenyans to go around the country to mobilize funds and form an investment arm for Kenyans, an investment vehicle for Kenyans. They mobilized $26,000. It's not a lot of money today,
but at the time,
it was so much money that they had to give a consent for part of that money not to be returned. In other words, it was oversubscribed.
Yes. Right.
So, so they formed ICDC Investment, which was later rebranded in 2008, and I was part of that team that rebranded it to Centum, from ICDC Investment to Centum. So that became the investment vehicle for Kenyans. And I think we've had about 38,000 shareholders there, about between 33 and 38,000 shareholders, and very loyal shareholders. These are the shareholders who actually take their certificate and frame it and put it somewhere on the wall. It was a moment of pride for all of them. So that was the beginning of Centum, and it was positioned to be a local partner for investment firms that were coming, or rather investors who are coming into Kenya.
Right.
Because at that time, in most African countries were also getting their independence. So there was a move where multinationals were setting up in African countries. So ICDCI, which is now Centum, was positioned as a preferred local partner. And that's how they ended up owning, I think, 4 Coca-Cola bottling companies. We ended up owning a stake in now Isuzu, but then it was General Motors, and a couple of others, multinational portfolio holdings that we've had for a very long time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, what's your journey through Centum like
Yes.
now? Where do you start?
Yes.
And how do you work your way up into
Yes.
leadership?
Yes. So this journey then continues, but ICDCI or ICDC Investment was then managed as a department. It's a company, but it was operating like a department within ICDC, the investment arm of the government. And comes in the late Dr. Chris Kirubi, who starts buying shares of Centum because it was a public listed company.
Yes.
In fact, the only listed company that was listed from day one.
Yes.
Yeah. So he mobilizes quite a number of shares and gets on the board and becomes an activist within the board. And finally, there's a breakaway, or rather, this company is given independence and it moves from Uchumi House to International House. You can see the connection,
Yes.
which is still my office today.
Yes.
They move to International House, gets its first independent board and gets its first independent management around 1998, thereabout. Then the first management team is become the James Moria. I think there's another lady also called Rispa. Those were the first cohort.
Yes.
And I joined them in 2004. We still had our first CEO, Tony Wainaina. In fact, I joined when just Tony Wainaina had just left, and Peter Mwangi had just taken over in 2004. So very early stages. James Moria serves for a short stint as an investment manager because I was actually recruited so that he could be promoted to investment manager, and leaves, and they formed TransCentury, or rather they formalized TransCentury as an investment institution. And later on, the board goes back for their blue-eyed boy, telling me you need to come back home. And he comes back in 2008, and now that's where the real story begins.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So between 2004, 2008,
Yeah.
what are the things that you're working on? How are you building your skill sets?
So that's a good question because I left Toyota as an accountant.
Yes.
And joined Centum as an accountant, management accountant, relieving James so that he could be promoted, but on the assumption that I was going to join the investment team. And I was going to pursue investment qualifications, which is CFA to be specific. So 2006, I officially begin my journey of investment, and I completely leave
accounting.
Is
that, do you officially begin your journey by completing the CFA program or by starting the CFA program?
I started the CFA program, but also my role changed.
Okay.
Yeah, and I become an analyst. Yeah, so that's where now my passion, love, and everything for investment began. Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Can you paint me a picture of the difference between your life as an accountant and your life as an analyst?
It's day and night.
Yeah.
So accountants, which goes with the word accounting.
Yes.
Whatever has happened in the business, they are the guys who do the record keeping, so that we can account for every shilling that has passed through that particular business. So, in essence, accounting is backward looking. Investment is forward looking. Investment is all about having a sneak preview into the future, and whoever has a better sneak preview tends to win. For example, if 10 years ago you knew where AI would be today, imagine what you would have done with that decision. If you knew that Tesla 10 years ago would be what it is today, imagine what you would have done with that decision. Just $100, $1,000 would have been life transforming.
Yes.
So the issue with investment is always we are forward looking, but there's a challenge because unless you're a prophet, nobody has certainty of how the future will turn out.
Yes.
So what we do is to really understand the past trends. We identify the trends, we identify the drivers, and then we try to predict or extrapolate the future. And that's where that's why you hear we investment professionals would like call it talking about financial modeling. So we model the future and you say, hey, I remember one day I sat down with Dr. James Mwangi, the
Equity Bank.
The Equity Bank.
Yeah.
CEO. Is it
the chairman? Is it chairman and CEO? I think.
His roles have really changed.
He's Equity Bank.
He's the face of Equity Bank. He's the face of Equity Bank.
Yeah.
And I was showing him my financial modeling of Equity Bank.
Yes.
And we had really had a good conversation, and he told me, Pius, we are going to shake hands that one day I'm going to match the profitability of Safaricom. And this last year, the results they just announced, I think they announced 75 billion profit, and Safaricom announced 73 billion profit. And now, if you had a sneak preview 15, 20 years ago, that this will be where Equity Bank would be, and you pumped in $1 million,
then
you'll be one of the richest people working in this country.
Yes.
So that's the difference between investment and accounting. Accounting is backward looking, investment is forward looking, and there's always this risk return reward.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there any is there a steep learning curve for you, and do you struggle with anything in the transition to now?
Actually, no, because investment begins where accounting ends. So any investment professional who has accounting background has a clear head start, because you first of all have a deep understanding and appreciation of financial statements, which if you're jumping straight into investment as a professional, and that's you will struggle first of all to even understand what financial statements mean. So we turn numbers into stories. So it wasn't a difficult transition.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the first sort of, again, back in those sort of 4 years, what's the most significant thing you work on in those 4 years before Dr. James Muchiri comes back?
I think one of the most significant things I did there was the Coca-Cola bottling companies. I did a whole trip around them and did valuation for all of them. And that process, even though I didn't get to finish myself because I got into public markets, is what culminated in them in 3 of those Coca-Cola bottling companies being amalgamated into what we call Almasi. And later on, Centum was able to exit at about 18 or 19 billion shillings, which was a massive value uplift.
Yeah. And even in the evaluation that you're doing as you're going around these the bottling firms, what is it that you're looking at, or that you're trying to do that the consolidation allowed for that to happen?
Yes. So these 3 actually were the most inefficient. Their plants where they were located, even the markets, how they were fragmented. So those deep issues, because we're trying to answer the question, how come Nairobi Bottlers is doing so well compared to these other 3? The Nairobi Bottlers was more profitable than these 3 combined, yet they have massive markets. So that's when the idea of consolidating the plants and consolidating the operations and having the one management team came in, and which was extremely fruitful.
Okay.
Yes.
So what happens next when Dr. James Muchiri then comes back?
Oh, Dr. James Muchiri comes back, and I think him being away gave him a fresh perspective. You're able to see things from the outside, then you jump back in. And I remember his first words were, we are sitting on a gold mine. We are sitting on a gold mine. And in fact, he said, there is no reason why we should be renting a small space in International House. We should be in our own complex.
How big was the company at that time?
We were just about 13 of us, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, including the guy who was delivering packages.
Yes.
Yeah. So if the tea girl was missing, she was dearly missed.
Yeah.
Everybody was important.
Yeah.
And we did everything. Everything. I mean, it didn't matter whether you're an accountant, whether you're whatever role you had. If you had an investor briefing, you were involved.
Yeah.
Whatever came, we'd handle it together.
Yeah.
So it gave us a lot of exposure into, marketing, every aspect of the business, because you're just a few people.
Yes.
And that's something that I now advise young people. If you're between 20 and 30, the best thing is to work in a small company and get this hands-on experience on every part of the business compared to somebody who starts in a multinational, very, very specialized in a very small area. Then it can tend to limit your career progression later on in life. So yeah, then James Moore comes in. We've already rebranded. We've done a lot of work, but we haven't experienced the growth. And he comes up with a very brilliant idea that, you know what, we are going to unbundle the portfolio into 3 segments: real estate, private equity, and public markets. And these 3 will be the value drivers and specialized teams. So I took public markets. Another gentleman called David took the private equity, and James was the CEO and also, breathing life into real estate.
Right.
So that journey, especially the specialization, really set us up for success. Another thing that happened also is that we were coming from post-election violence. So we had just realized that Kenya was, even though we considered to be the safest place, it also could go up in smoke.
Right.
And we had 38,000 shareholders that we were custodians of their assets. And we made a radical decision that we were going to diversify at least 50% of the portfolio outside of Kenya.
Yeah.
Then it was only 1%. So if anything happened, everything was going to go up in smoke.
Right.
So those were 2 big decisions. Another big decision was we had very ambitious strategic goal to grow from a 6 billion balance sheet to a 30 billion balance sheet in 5 years.
Yeah.
Without raising equity capital.
Okay.
Very ambitious.
And if I remember correctly, you also said without raising any expenses or keeping expenses at 2% of the portfolio.
Exactly.
Right.
And limiting our expenses to 2% of the portfolio.
Right.
And we got support of the board, and I think our youthfulness and the gray hairs in the board was a good blend because we were able to find a good balance. They allowed us to experiment while putting the risk mitigants in place. And, we had very many doubting Thomases initially. And then that went, every half year would go before investors and brief them on how we are progressing on the strategy.
Yeah. It seems like the size of company that you were at the time was really small for the money you guys had. I mean, you had 38,000 shareholders, the shareholders that you're reporting to, and the money you guys are managing, you seem very small.
But the activities were very passive.
Yeah.
Because, we sat in boards of private equity companies, and those companies had their own teams. We invested in publicly listed companies which had their own teams. So a typical investment firm actually is lean.
Yeah, it doesn't need to.
It doesn't need too many people because the operator is somebody else outside that particular team.
Okay.
But that we were able to keep that for the first 5 years.
Right.
A very, 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 very lean team. So, as we kept, reporting on our scorecard to investors, then they started believing because we kept delivering and we kept delivering. By the 5th year, we had grown from 6 billion to 29 billion, which was we're just 1 billion shy of our target.
What the target was.
Of our target. So tremendous shareholder value was created during that time.
In that 5-year period,
Yes,
or maybe within year 1, year 2, year 3, are there any moments of doubt where it looks like this 30 billion target is not going to be achievable?
No.
And no.
And I'm being humble about it. We were so military about it.
Right.
Every week, we sat and checked where we were. We had good targets, but also the market was right. There were so many other factors that worked in our favor. We were coming from the global financial crisis. So we were in an era of quantitative easing where there was such cheap money coming from developed economies, particularly US and Europe. And they had negative interest rates. It costed them money to put money in the bank. And they were looking for yield. And guess where they were coming? Africa was one of the destinations. So emerging markets benefited greatly from that. Today, I'm sure you've heard of the word Eurobonds.
Yes.
The Eurobonds were non-existent before that. So, but this cheap money, even governments now started going for it, and that the African governments then got themselves into Eurobonds. The Eurobond market was formed, so governments and institutions were also able to access very cheap capital. So with all that capital flowing in, a lot of the things that we were touching, because we were like ahead of the curve, and this wave would just come and carry us.
Yeah.
I remember one particular company I bought in Tanzania. It was Tanzania Breweries. And I was buying it at 2,000 Tanzanian shillings per share.
2,000 per share.
2,000
right.
per share. And we had done our valuation. The valuation was crazy. It was 10,000. And I had never seen a company that there was such
undervalued.
So undervalued, such a gap. And the share price was like a staircase. For like a whole year, it would be same price. Then it would go up, then it would stay for a very long time. And the operating profit was just, upward trajectory.
Why wasn't the share price equivalent to what the company was worth?
Good question. So I discovered that Tanzania had this regulation that capped foreign investments to 75%. And most of the blue chip companies had hit the cap. So they did not have that catalyst from outside to enable price discovery. And the locals, for some reason,
weren't buying.
They were not buying.
So they kept it there.
So they kept it there despite operating profit just going up. So we pumped in 852 million shillings in 2014? I think 2014. And in 28 months, I remember I sold and I brought back 3.3 billion shillings. It was like we had come from fundraising.
Yeah. A question I have for you on that transaction.
Yes.
So is the bet you're making then that when I invest this 800 and whatever million into this company, the share price will go up because of the interest, and therefore...
And I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
So I asked my team to do one last test for me, and that was if we assumed Centum had sold all its private equity holdings and pumped that money into Tanzania breweries, would the share of profits have gone up? And the answer surprised me. The share of profits was going to go up 2.2 times. I'm like, that is a steal. So Tanzania is known to be very illiquid. So we were not naive about that reality.
Yes.
In fact, my initial request was $20 million. But because of the liquidity of the market, we agreed I'll be given part of the money, which is 852 million. Then I'll go and find co-investors,
Right.
which I did, and it did very well. My assumption was that we will not be able to get out our money quickly.
Yes.
But the dividend yield was growing so fast that we would be able to get anything between 10 and 15% for the next 7 years. Within 7 years, I knew
The dividend would have paid
the
you.
dividend would have paid me back, and my capital would still be in there. But what I was not prepared for is this quantitative easing and the change in regulation in Tanzania would attract foreign money into that market. So they found us inside, and the share price started moving from 2,000, 3,000. We went to 10,000. We passed our valuation target. We went to 12,000, all the way to 19,000. When you hit 19,000, like, now we need to start selling.
Yeah. Okay.
So we sold all the way to about 14,000, and it was a kill.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other transaction I want to ask you about, I think, was the bank in Ghana. I don't know if this happens in this 5-year period.
So Ghana was fast.
Yeah.
It was before this
It
particular
was even before this one, yeah.
Before this particular transaction. So locally here, so we launched the 3 wheels of value.
Yes.
I'm running the public markets. We're calling it quoted private equity. I know it's a bit of it's a bit cynical. Yes. Quoted. So we are investing in public markets, but we are investing with a philosophy of private equity. So that's why we call it quoted private equity. So the mindset was very different from your typical investor in the public markets. And our idea was, let us find the companies that are below the radar. Everybody knows Safaricom, everybody knows the Equity Bank, but what are the companies that are not in the radar of most investors, but they are number 1 or number 2 in their sector? And we ended up investing in, what do you call this? Cabacid. Sizable stake, about put in about 418 million shillings. And it took us two weeks to negotiate a price, because there was something going on. Cabacid was being acquired by BOC, and that transaction did not meet the threshold that they had put with the regulator of 80%, because the majority shareholder, the late Matiba, did not approve the transaction. So the transaction failed, but the company remained suspended, meaning it was not trading.
Yes.
For a long time. But then major shareholder wanted to exit, and there was no mechanism for exiting. Because it's suspended. So when we got to know about it, then we approached, negotiations happened, and it's called off the market negotiations, and we approached the regulator and said, now we have agreed on a deal. Can you facilitate as a regulator? And it took another couple of months, and that deal went through. So this was an opportunity that many other your typical investors in public markets would not have been able to handle, because it was suspended and required a private equity style of execution.
Yes.
So when that deal went through, after some time, the company was relisted. After some time, we exited, and it was 1.2 billion capital gains and dividends that we had received. So it was almost a 3x exit. So that was like a proof of concept for us on what quoted private equity was all about. So the next question was, can we replicate this in other African markets? And that's how we landed on an opportunity in Ghana. Calbank. Calbank was comparable to what we used to know as CBA.
Yes.
Now NCBA.
Mm-hmm.
Corporate bank with only high net worth individuals doing very well in this sector. But then the market was very hot for retail and they decided to plunge into retail and they burned their fingers big time.
What did they get wrong or what did they do?
Retail in West Africa is very different from here. We have certain privileges here that we take for granted. Like, for example, the roads are marked. There, a retail client could disappear into oblivion.
So you have given him your money and it disappears.
It's gone.
Okay.
Their money is as good as gone. So I followed this company for at least 2 years and understood that they got into the wrong sector, which they were not specialized in. They burnt their fingers, and every year they were writing off the bad book. So 2011, I did my final visit there. I came back. I was convinced it was time. And
what convinced you that it was time to invest in them, even though they were writing?
It convinced me because now I knew they were about to write their last portion.
Okay.
Write off their last portion. Now, the amount that they were writing off was bigger than their bottom line.
Was bigger than their motto?
Their bottom line.
Okay.
It was bigger than their profit.
Yeah.
So I knew this was the last one.
Yeah.
And I had understood the bank very well. The psyche, in fact, I remember the guy who really switched it on for me was actually a cab driver. I was coming from lunch, headed back to do due diligence, and I asked the cab driver, do you have a bank account in this bank? And he said, no. I asked him why. He said, this bank is for the rich people. And that's when everything I'd studied about the bank came into play. And like, oh, no wonder.
What's the illumination with that statement? What do you understand by him saying this for the rich people?
It's for the rich people. It's with the bank realizing that they had made a mistake by going into retail, they were retreating back to where they were doing very well.
Yes.
So I did not see further risk. The risk had already...
It had passed.
It had passed.
Yes.
So we are just seeing the aftermath of the risk.
Okay.
So the timing was perfect. And I remember I came here, I actually flew in a 6 a.m. flight, dashed to my house, showered, went to the office, had a conversation with Dr. James Moria. Those days, it was easy. We were just a small team. So I like, this time. It's like, you sure? Let's do it. And give the order by midday. The order was executed. So we wiped out every share that was for sale. That had been for sale for at least 1 year. And it was a sizable stake. Costed us about 300 million shillings. And the year ended. They announced their results the following year. The share price shot up 3 times.
And this is essentially because they had now stopped trying to go to the average person and said, let's deal with the rich people. And
let's deal with corporates and our high net worth individuals.
Yeah.
So everything that used to go to write-off now was in the bottom line.
Yes. And
dividend was up. The share price just skyrocketed. And then, of course, I had wiped out every share overhang, which means if you needed shares, there was more demand than supply.
Yes. So the share price shoots up.
I sold half of the stake. Now, this was another thing. I needed to test, can I invest successfully and repatriate money successfully? So we repatriated 50% of the portfolio of that investment back home, which was more than what we had invested. And we remained with the rest there to continue growing. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. I mean, such key information on those key transactions those past 5 years. What metrics, or actually, let me ask this. Was it always the objective that at some point, these 3 pillars that had been created would then go and exist as separate business lines? Was that always the objective?
It was our aspiration that we would build unique track records on each of those 3 business lines. and they would at some point now be able to offer those services to other people
Right.
outside, because they have tried the model, they have experimented, they have failed, they have worked, and they know what works. So, yeah, in the simple answer, yes.
Yes. Okay. So, what metrics were you guys looking at to then be able to determine, okay, now we can start a separate business line or separate ourselves from the parent teat, so to speak? Yeah.
So investment is very much like the aviation industry. Imagine entering a plane, and then the captain says, "Good morning, everyone. This is Pius Muchiri, your captain, and today is my first flight ever."
Yes.
How would you feel?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, okay, no, I think I want to exit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and even like doctors, so it's all about track record. Before you invest other people's money, you need to demonstrate that you have a track record of making good decisions.
Yes.
That you have a philosophy behind it. You see, we had quoted private equity philosophy. We had proved it that it worked. It had made money. We had repatriated money back. We had dealt with multiple currencies of different countries. We had burnt our fingers some places, Then, so that track record is then you now have a story that you can offer to your future customers. And I remember 2013, we never even got to the 5th year. 2013, Dr. James Moria called me to his office. And I still remember his words. Says, "Pius, opportunities don't come wrapped up in convenience." And I wondered what I had just done. And he said, this fund management business that we want to form, I think you should be the CEO. You should lead this particular business line. And it was sweet and sour, because I felt like I was leaving a family, and I did not know how my future would look like after that. So it was time. So March 2013, we formed Nabo.
So what do you get from Centum to start Nabo? What do they give you?
Good question. So very important to start. I'm given 18 million shillings to meet the capital requirements of being a fund manager. That will help us to set up the systems and everything. And I'm also given a corner office. So it felt very strange to see another corner office.
Yes.
Imagine, I believe there was only supposed to be one CEO.
Yes.
So and I go to a completely different. Remember, it was a bit behind. So those are the two things that I'm given. Then I'm given number 3. Centum becomes my first client. So I could demonstrate fund management business to my first customer, which is also my shareholder.
Yes.
And they've been my customer since.
Okay. And how much are you given off to sort of start?
So the portfolio that I was managing, the quoted
That's
private
what you
equity,
moved
that's
with.
what I moved with.
Okay.
Because there was nobody else in the ecosystem to deal with public markets.
Okay.
Yeah.
What becomes the most challenging thing in this first year of running Nabo Capital?
Oh, man. Remember, I'm just an investment professional.
At 32 years of age at the time.
An investment professional who enjoys looking for lucrative opportunities across the continent. And I just need to do my analysis. I do my financial modeling. I work with my analysts. We determine which opportunity is good. We go for it. We make money silently.
You move.
We move. But here I'm given a business. I need to recruit customers. And it was so hard, because that meant I needed to switch my thinking from an investment professional to an entrepreneur who has to sell and has to determine the products, has to everything.
Yes.
So I call it the the mountain of branding is the first mountain that you encounter when you are at a startup. From where I see it,
Yes.
every space I got into to sell, I have a good track record. People ask me, who is Nabo Capital? And I'm trying to say, Nabo Capital is a member of Centum Investment, and I'm still very far from.
Yeah.
So it was a real headache for me because we spent 80% of our pitching trying to explain who we are. I explored different ways of getting our brand out there, and I was surprised how expensive it is to create a brand. Just a 30-second advertisement on primetime news, it will cost you a couple of 100,000.
Yes.
Putting half a page or a full page on newspaper will cost you something, and tomorrow that will be in the dustbin. So the question was, how do we create a campaign that is sustainable and is friendly to the pockets that we had?
Yes.
So that's how I got myself into digital. Like, okay, we need, first and foremost, it was very clear that there was such a disconnect. People didn't understand basic finance, and at very many levels. So unknowingly, I subscribed to teaching people about money, not knowing I would get myself very deep into financial literacy.
Yes.
So that's how we formed our Nabo YouTube channels in 2018. So you can imagine, between 2013 and 2018, we were figuring it
You're
out.
trying to find different
We
place.
were trying to figure it out.
So how long does it take for you guys to get your first client who is not Centum? How long does it take, and what is it that gets people to start buying in?
Clients did come.
Yeah.
But they're coming through my connections and the people who knew me as an investment professional.
Right.
We got a couple of, so this maybe it's a good point I come back to. First of all, we need to justify there were 17 fund managers in Kenya
At that time.
And the question that I had to ask myself, why did the market need one more fund manager? I looked at the profitability of fund managers. Then the biggest fund manager was making 59 million shillings in profit in a year. That is a drop in the ocean compared to the kind of returns we were making. So it didn't look very attractive to me from a business perspective. But I still knew there was a future for this industry. This was just, we were at infancy stage. So my answer was, we were coming from a place where we were probably the only local investment firm that had the most exposure of investing beyond our boundaries. We knew every market. We had good partners. We had experience with multiple currencies. So Kenya had about 60 listed securities, 130 bonds and treasury bills, and just the equity space alone in the continent, we had 900 securities within that we could invest in. So I said, there's a problem because I can see the wall of money that is looking for opportunities here was increasing very fast, but the opportunities remained very narrow. So say we can bring something fresh to this market by providing access to African opportunities, not just Kenyan opportunities. So that was our positioning. If you look at our board as Nabo today, you will notice that we have a Pan-African board, and that speaks to an aspiration that began then, and we continue to hold that particular aspiration. So that I think is more important that I mentioned that.
Yeah.
The second thing,
sorry, I wanted to ask the African exposure.
Yes.
Is that what was allowing you guys to make much more money than everyone else?
Yes. I call it make money like a mzungu.
Yes.
When was doing my African roadshows, many a times I found myself I was the only black. Most of the time I was in the company of people from New York, people from Europe, who are scouting for opportunities across the continent. And I was surprised. When you are in West Africa, they knew places more than myself. So they knew joints more than myself. They had really localized, so they had really penetrated. So I knew that that the African opportunity was a real offering for Kenyan investors, and not just Kenyan investors, but also I understood that there were many foreign investors who are looking to come into Africa.
Yes.
And they were using their in fund managers from those markets to come into, but we were offering something very fresh. A fund manager who was based in Africa, understands the continents, lives here, understands the terrains, has the relationships, that we could actually handhold them and help them to navigate the risks that come with investing in Africa.
Right.
So my first positioning was actually not to recruit local institutions, was actually to recruit international capital.
Okay.
So with that, we ended up being the fund managers of the Norwegian Sovereign Wealth Fund, which is the largest sovereign wealth fund in the world. And we were very privileged to represent them in the region, and other international pools of capital that we ended up being our customers.
Okay.
Yeah.
What ends up being the catalyst for you to make headway with the local investors?
Yeah. So that's a good one. So then, remember, we still have the undercurrents of quantitative easing.
Yes.
And therefore, we are seeing a global flow of capital to Africa. But when it started reversing, we quickly understood we needed to change, to re-strategize.
By reversing, you mean there was now less money that people were willing to put?
It was going to start going the opposite direction. And it did. So foreign capital is truly flight capital.
Right.
It comes huge, big chunks. I started the business with 18 million shillings. Our first year, we made 234 million shillings.
234
million shillings in revenue. Our second year, we made 590 million shillings in revenue. And the big difference that I got a very big foreign investor to co-invest with me in Tanzania breweries. And the first year, they contributed 100 million to my top line.
Yes.
The second year, they contributed 200 million to my bottom line. So I remember my chairman saying, Pius, this money is you only make in Gikomba.
Yes.
Those kind of multiples.
Yeah.
You know. So I think there's a grace that comes also.
Yeah.
So we had those customers that helped us to begin our journey, but we still had not resolved one problem.
Yes.
The issue of brand. The issue of brand. So then with the quantitative easing reversing, and then we started seeing this capital flowing back, we had to quickly re-strategize. How do we also now recruit local institutions? So we ended up with some African multinationals are part of our portfolio. Insurance companies have been part of our portfolio for quite some time. So we got very good, solid institutional customers. But these were we had to really use our network, our networks. Then 2018, we launched our Kenya Shilling Money Market Fund. And we also launched our YouTube channel, and we began doing financial literacy programs, which I think succeeded beyond what we even imagined.
Right.
And now I can say we actually, and I pride myself for this, we are the only fund manager with a local internal media house,
Yes.
media team.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So it sounds like and get me if I'm wrong. It sounds like you have a lot of international money at the very beginning. At some point, it's going back.
Yes.
So you need to find local money
Yes.
to replace it.
Yes.
So because you had been giving me examples. So if year two you're making 580 million, with 200 million being the foreign investor,
Yes.
how much then are you? What changes on your bottom line when this money goes back?
Yes, it changes. And also, we were also very aggressive in our pricing model, where we were offering to earn almost nothing on management fees, but to be paid on performance-based performance. So if a customer makes more than 15%, then every extra shilling that we make for them, we share. We share like 20% or 25%.
Okay.
So that model worked for half of our existence, the first one. But then you remember we're coming from a small team that broke away from another another team. But then as the team grows, then you start having a fixed cost structure.
Yes.
That you need to think about. And therefore we start shifting our pricing model from performance-based to management fees, or a hybrid of the two, so that we take care of the lights while we're also taking care of the alpha, as and when it's possible. So our profits, our revenues, then because of that, they were quite up and down, just reflecting the equity nature of our style of approach, up until it dawned on us that there were only 300,000 active investment accounts in the country, compared to over 36 million, now over 46 million active bank accounts in the country. And that just tells you the story of our saving rate, very poor saving rate. And the risk, remember my story?
Yes.
The risk of many people experiencing what I experienced was very tangible, a tangible need for me. So this financial literacy then just grew
from there.
Educating, empowering, educating. In fact, our philosophy was very simple: give, give, give. And we never really asked. We used to, because of being a corporate. In fact, one of the things that I've heard about Nabo, so many people say, is that it's for the rich people. You know. But I think we've tried to demystify Nabo for the common person. Now we even have Chums, the Chums app, which has the lowest denomination that you can invest, 5 shillings. You can become an investor with as little as 5 shillings through your mobile phone. So we've tried to tap, but what was really holding us from opening ourselves up completely was because we knew we needed to be, because investment is a very lean team driven setup. We knew technology was going to be key.
Right.
So those gates, we've opened them very carefully because we're very keen on ensuring that the customer experience that we deliver is delightful.
Okay. Did you guys sort of shifting your model to a more management, to the hybrid between management and the commission structure, completely alleviate your ability to meet your, keep the lights on every month, or are there still challenges?
No. By the way, we were able to. The one thing I'm really grateful to God is that we have been able to pay our bills, our employees, since day one.
Yes.
We have never gone back to our shareholder after giving it 18, being given 18 million bob
Yes.
to say we need support to pay this or that. And that can be taken for granted, but I think any founder
Yeah.
will appreciate
Yeah.
the profoundness of that. So every year we were able to take care of our basic needs. What really remained is really optimizing and making sure that we are not just delivering for the customer, but we're also optimizing value for our shareholder.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does opening up the money market fund do for you for Nabo Capital?
I think it opens another very big door because the investment that we were doing there before, the story could only be told through returns. But now we can tell the story through impact. So I get this very strong idea about changing how we think about investing. And I call it investing with purpose. You know, if I get very annoyed every place I go and I'm being asked to fill a form, like someone asking me, are you risk averse or are you high risk? You know,
Yes.
I'm like, it's impossible to categorize a human being and box them in one of them because our risk appetite tends to change
Based on
the purpose. Based on the purpose. So we come up with this, idea of investing with purpose, that we want to interact with our customers, not just to make a return for them, but really to walk a journey with them, to see them achieve something tangible in their lives. I remember one of my customers, I have so many testimonials.
Yes.
I have so many testimonials. I have a couple that came to my office. One, actually, the wife came to my office. It always starts with the lady and said, "Pius, explain to me what you do." And we went through the whole idea of investing with purpose. It has 3 levels: lifestyle, security, aspiration, and legacy. Lifestyle is if you lost your job or if your business came to an abrupt end, would you still be able to afford the basic needs? Would you be able to afford the lifestyle that you currently live? If the answer is no, then we need to form a portfolio that will cater specifically for that need so that we eliminate that risk. And by that, you create a flow that if the worst ever happened, like COVID happened, and all of us, we are at home, you still be making money while you're sleeping, and you still be able to afford the lifestyle that you're used to. You will never go below that. Then it progresses there. I don't want to get too much technical. So I explained it like, you know what? Can you explain this to my husband? I said yes. So she sent the husband to me. So met on a Monday. We went through the whole idea of investing with purpose. I said, okay, this is very interesting. The following week, on a Monday again, she called me. The lady called me. The wife called me and said, "Pius, during the weekend, we had gone to see a property with my husband. It is the kind of property we have always gone for. We loved it. We liked it. It ticked all our boxes. But when my husband entered into the car, he looked at me and he was looking sad. And I asked him, what is it? And he said, I like it, but I met one guy called Pius. And he told me I must invest with purpose. And I'm wondering, what is the purpose of investing in So they made a decision there and then that land, that
as
property,
good as it was,
as good as it was, it did not fit in their purpose.
Yeah.
And they came to my office now together and they said, Pius, we have 16 million shillings. The most pressing thing for us today is a loan that we are paying at KCB. And how much can you send to us every month to help us pay for that loan? We did the math, it came to 155,000 shillings. If they put in 16 million, we can send them 155,000 every month without eroding the 16 million. Like, okay, so let's start. Month 1, we send them 155. Month 2, month 3, the month 3 they came. See, Pius, we have been thinking. We have a house in Runda that is valued at 250 million shillings. It brings us rentals of 150,000 shillings. If that was the money that we have here, how much would we be? And they said they are making it their sole mission to grow this portfolio so that it can now retire them.
Yes.
I don't think we finished 5 years. It was a 5-year plan. We didn't finish 5 years, and they were both retired and enjoying their life and with a very healthy, very, very healthy portfolio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a really good example of, I guess, how you've not been able to get to the retail
Yes.
individual. So, what percentage now of Nabo's portfolio is from retail vis-a-vis the foreign money, vis-a-vis institutional money that's local, and maybe against other African money? Yeah.
We used to be 20% retail, 80% corporate. We are now 70% retail, 30% corporate institution.
Is that a testament to how much money the retailers have put in, or the shrinking of the company?
It is testament of how much retail business has grown, and a testament to, remember what I said?
Yeah.
We had 300,000.
That's in fact what I wanted to ask. How many do we have now?
We have just about 3 million now, and if we remove ZD, it is half of that is gone. Let me put perspective. The largest retail fund manager that I know has probably 100,000 retail customers. 100,000 direct retail customers. That is not even a tip of the iceberg compared to
The
even
bank
the
accounts,
smallest,
the 46
smallest
million.
bank you get. So we have ways to go. We have ways.
There's still a lot of money to be made.
The need is so great that I expect this to be the fastest growing sector in the next decade. In fact, I think fund managers who are focused on retail might be the biggest fund managers in the next 10 years. In the next 10 years. And most likely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that why in the market we're seeing more players trying to simplify their offerings or their products?
Correct.
So that they are more accessible to, and is it based on the math of, if we get the same number of investment accounts as bank accounts, then the institutional money will almost be a bonus. The retail is what will carry us through.
Absolutely. And I don't know whether they have seen it the way I see it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they've seen it indirectly.
Yeah.
First of all, the institutional market is exhausted. There is not much growth that can come from there. So we are either cannibalizing one another.
Yeah. How many players are there in the institutional space on average?
Institutional space? Now you can't say there is one fund manager who is 100% institutional. We've all gone into retail in one. You are either starting your retail or you are in that journey.
Okay. What about number of institutional investors?
Institutional investors.
The same way we are saying we have 3 million accounts now.
I mean, if you look at probably the largest fund manager today has probably 100 customers, and most of them institutions. So if we are talking about meaningful institutions, you are likely to go beyond 200. You get, we are sharing.
Yeah, these 200
these
people.
200 institutions. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the more, I guess, recent stuff that you guys have met. What are the more recent milestones that you've hit as Nabo?
Yeah. So it's a developing story.
Yes.
So money market is just the beginning, and I think from a financial literacy and awareness, we've done an exceptional job there, and there's a lot of momentum there. We have other products now that has created that awareness has opened the retail market to other more sophisticated products, like the special funds. And now we are currently in the market offering the Trific REIT. And maybe I can take a moment to explain what a REIT is.
Yes, as real estate investment trust. Yes.
And it's an acronym meaning real estate investment trust.
Yeah.
So this is, let me put it in more relatable terms. It is the money market fund for real estate.
Kwa ufupi. Yeah.
It's the money market fund for real estate.
Right.
But it's not money market fund, you know. I'm just trying to simplify it so that they can see it. So money market fund, what's the money market fund? Money market fund is a place where so many people come and invest in one vehicle, and we go and negotiate the best rates for them.
Right.
In the money market, in the money market world, with banks, with government treasury bills and all that. We do it for retail through a vehicle called money market fund.
Right.
Now, there is another big asset class that Kenyans love, actually loved the whole world, and it's called real estate. And real estate presents a few hurdles to what you'd call the common man. One, it requires very huge ticket sizes or capital for you to be able to access. If you don't have 1 billion shillings, or even if you have 1 billion shillings and you go around the city looking for a property, that's when you realize how small your money is. And you have a couple of 100 million or a billion.
Yeah.
Real estate is expensive. So that cuts out so many of us from accessing an asset class that is very dear to most of us. And it is real. You can touch it. It will not evaporate. It's not paper. It's not paper money. The second problem that real estate has is it's very illiquid. When you invest in a building like this, and you put in maybe your 2-3 billion shillings, and tomorrow you are hit by a very big need that you probably need you need 100 million shillings, or you need even 50 million shillings, and you cannot find that in your bank account. And the only option you have is to liquidate this particular building. It will take you at least, I think, 362 days for you to find a buyer on average. By then, you'll be finished, you know. So it's very, very easy to find people who are rich in assets, but they are poor in cash flow, if the bulk of their portfolio is in real estate, in liquidity. So these two problems, and by the let me mention, someone mentioned that in Nairobi, there's about 11 trillion worth of directly owned real estate. 11 trillion. That's bigger than our bond market, is bigger than our stock market. So even if we got a third of that, this country would be different.
Right.
So then that leads us to the question, if that is the problem, is there even a solution? And the solution is real estate investment trust. This is a vehicle that is formed to help individuals like you and I to become landlords without really running a property.
Right.
You own some of the most prime real estate in the country by just buying a fraction of that. And that solves the two problems. One, accessibility. So the Trific USD iRate, you can buy with as little as $1,000 an asset that the North Tower is about $38 million. With only $1,000, you can become part of that, the owners of that particular property.
Right.
So that is really opening access to people like you and I. Number two, even when you buy, tomorrow you're in need of money, you need to go somewhere, you can actually go to the market, to the Nairobi Securities Exchange, offer your units for sale, you get money within 24 hours.
Right.
That solves the problem. So the future of real estate in this country is not in owning direct real estate, is actually owning real estate through REIT. I actually have a very funny story.
Yes.
My first assignment when I landed in Centum was actually, besides being an accountant, was to manage Kimathi House. We used to own Kimathi House. And I arrived with a mindset that one day I want to retire. And when I retire, I want to own these buildings where I will just be collecting rent. I'll be sleeping and collecting rent. That was my idea of retirement.
Yes.
Until I met Kimathi House and what it means to manage a building.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, let me tell you, managing a building is a full day, is a whole day work.
It's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job. I used to get calls 6 a.m. in the morning. Pius, this is the caretaker. The sewage has broken. You have to come here before the city council come here. Otherwise, we'll be charged. Yeah? I became a friend to lawyers and auctioneers because this tenant has refused to pay, or this, I mean, it is insane. The lift has broken. So it brought a fresh perspective to me that retirement actually can't be done by me owning a building.
Right. Right.
And I'm the operator.
Right.
Even if you have an estate agent, you still get too involved
In
because
the management.
it's in the management, because the issues still keep pulling you in. Now, a rate helps you to skip all these challenges and go to the cash flow
Indirectly.
Right. And it solves another third problem. If one building costs not less than $1 billion, how many people can own a portfolio of 10 buildings? Because one building can go up in smoke. And if it goes up in smoke, it means your future is gone. So there is need for diversification. In a real estate investment trust, you are offering people not just an asset, you also offer, with one purchase, is diversification. So the Trific iREIT, USD iREIT, this is just the first building that we will be onboarding, the Trific North Tower. And there are going to be many other buildings that will be coming in. And as long as you're a unit holder,
yes,
you will partake in the cash flows that come from that.
All those other buildings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's Nabo's role in the iREIT? Yes.
In the iREIT. So our role, we are rate managers. We are licensed rate managers. So just like a money market fund, it cannot be offered by anybody. You must be a licensed fund manager.
Yes.
So for the rate, we are a licensed rate manager. And what does that mean? It means we will make all the investment decisions on behalf of the people who are going to buy into this rate, including ensuring that they get the promises that this rate has. 8% return
in USD.
In USD.
Yes.
That's our starting point. But our hope with the annual rent escalations and future properties that will be onboarded into the rate, that yield will just keep growing.
Yeah.
That's one. Number two is to just make sure that the asset is performing.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a property manager called Brawl who is specialized in what it takes a building to perform.
Yes.
So these are the people that will be working with to make sure that the property is performing and the property is generating cash flows. The cash flows are not declining, the cash flows are actually increasing. And also, we're also in charge of reporting. So every so often we'll be reporting to the owners now, because anybody who buys into it become an owner.
Yes.
We'll be reporting to them on how this property is doing, how the assets of the REIT are doing, and what we see in the future. Yeah.
Okay. What are some of them? Because I mean, ideally, it looks like the money that's being made is being made from the rental income and from people who've leased out the properties, right? So, what are some of the ways that I guess you're looking to either work around, or are there workarounds for tenancy agreements, people who terminate leases and things like that? I think when I was looking at the documents around which the prospectus is out by there, you should go and check it out if you seriously want to invest in it, because I think the tenancy moved from about 40% in Q1 2025 to, I think now it's just under 90, if I'm not mistaken. So how are we, how we, if I invest, how are you planning to deal with that tenancy fluctuation and the possibility of
That's a very good question, because then I believe every innovation must be fueled by a problem.
Yes.
So there are a couple of things that or convictions that are behind this offering. Number one is that the global companies are looking to set up in locations where they can source they can operate competitively from a human resource on every aspect of operation. So one of the advantages we have as Africa is that we not only have very youthful and fast growing population, but also it's very affordable and very educated workforce. So that makes Africa very attractive for these global companies to come and set up here. Now, the next question is, why Kenya? Kenya, all those things, we tick all those boxes, but also our positioning is as a hub is really comparable to very few. It's very easy to set up here than maybe to set up down in South Africa if you're looking to serve some markets and to access those sort of resources. The other thing is why is the fact that the Trific SEZ is not just offering rental space. It is offering a full stack of business platform where the tenants are not just accessing a space, they're accessing other things like fiscal incentives, they're accessing, ease of doing business. They can be set up very, very, very easily and rapidly. And then there's the support that comes from the ecosystem that is there. It's a regulated environment. It's like a country by itself. It's a jurisdiction. Just the way, if you've been to Dubai, there is DFC. When you're in DFC, you enjoy certain privileges. So what that means is that any tenant, and we don't like calling them tenants, we actually call them members, because for you to operate in Trific SEZ, you have to apply and qualify for you to be eligible and to be given space. You have to meet certain criteria. You have to demonstrate that if you don't operate within those privileges, your business will be competitively disadvantaged.
Yes.
So the space that we are offering there then is more than just space. You're paying rent to access certain privileges beyond space, and that's why then it is not easy for a tenant or a member to just up and go because another building has come up next in Ruaka and it's cheaper.
Right.
They will lose the privileges. What are some of these privileges? Like, for example, the first 10 years, as long as you're set up in that ecosystem, you pay corporate tax of 10% compared to everybody else who's paying 35%. The next 10 years, we'll pay 15%. And there are many other tax exemptions that you get to enjoy. All that money goes to the bottom line.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of incentive for the tenants to remain there.
It is a
once they get there.
It's a very compelling offering to attract these global companies to set up here, and now they're offering their services globally using our local talent, which now brings another aspect.
Yeah.
The rate of employment that we are creating there is tremendous.
Yeah. And under the different products that you have at Nabo, this 8% return on USD via the REIT, is this the best return on USD product that you guys have under Nabo?
Absolutely. We have a money market fund USD. We have fixed income fund USD.
Which is at how much?
They are all between 5 and 6%.
They're all between 5 and 6%.
Between 5 and 6%.
Okay.
So an 8% yield, even when you compare to a treasury bill, a 364-day treasury bill is somewhere there, 7 point something to 8%. In shillings, this one is in dollars. You should never put shilling and dollar at par.
Yes, on the percentage on the yield.
At par. So you're getting a yield that is almost Kenya shilling equivalent, but in a stronger currency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so and this I'm just asking because I should have checked. I didn't. So is this the best dollar return in the market right now? In the Kenyan market?
In the Kenyan market, I know
is there a better one?
I know the special fund Mansa may be offering something totally different, a higher yield. But in investment we don't talk about return alone. We talk about risk and return.
Yes.
What does it take for me to give you 8%?
Yes.
And what does it take for me to give you 12-13% on the dollar? The underlying assets are very, very different. Here, these are real assets. We are saying these tenants are earning in dollars. They are paying rent in dollars, and we are taking part of those dollars and paying the 8% yield. So there is even no foreign exchange risk, and this is almost, these are contracted revenues.
Yes.
But in a special fund situation, and I don't have to refer to any one of them
in particular.
This is more of investing in and trading in assets that can go up and down. There are no guarantees, and there may be even elements of leverage. So higher return, but it also comes at a higher risk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is, I guess, one of your key projects for 2026.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yes, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And it's not even my project. To me, I see it. This is a national project.
Yeah.
Because if this rate is successful, it will open a very big door for real estate, how we own real estate going forward.
Right.
And it will completely open access to prime real estate to you and I, and the many people who don't believe they can be part of a big thing like that. The same way you and I can buy Safaricom and be part of a big story, a part of a M-Pesa story. This is really what is going on. You can be part of an amazing story by just accessing a very highly liquid and low denomination investment.
Okay.
Yeah.
My last two questions.
Yes.
Which one do I start with? Let me start with, what does success for Nabo Capital look like in 5-10 years from now? Yeah.
I think it comes back to the problem identified. If today our market has 3 million active investors, active investors in the capital market, when I speak at industry level, and we make what I would like to see as make a significant contribution is if we can be at 30 million active retail investors in this market, and Nabo is on the front end of that.
Yeah.
I'll be very satisfied that we fulfilled a mission that not only impacted on our shareholders and our clients, but we changed the market forever.
Yeah.
For me, I think that would set a big example. And the products, the various products, including the REIT that we bring to the market, are all avenues of using this avenue to really empower the retail market, so they can get to do what they love to do every single day of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My last question is, and this I should have asked earlier when you talked about it. How did you guys land the Norwegian? It's a Norwegian wealth fund,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
How did you guys land that business?
Actually, I'm not even allowed to speak much about it. We have such stringent. Yeah. But we went through a very long process without getting to the detail. It took 1 year due diligence for them to sieve and end with one representation in the region. Yes, which was us, and it was a privilege. We ended up in the Financial Times. That's how big. When they select you, is like being invited for Grammy Awards.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Okay.
It's a big deal. And we're grateful.
Okay, maybe I will ask this to replace that one. I mean, when you look at the lifespan of Nabo Capital right now, right, from where it started, and if you talk about really where it started, the true origin of, let's look at these 3 business pillars. What are the key drivers for getting Nabo Capital to where it is now? What do you think are 3 things that have played a really, really key role in making this happen? Has it been access to the board that you guys had access to? Has it been because you came from a parent company? Has it been vision? Has it been, in an interview I'd had Dr. James Moore, I think, talk about focus and hard work. What's been the thing that has allowed Nabo Capital to get to where it has?
I tend to, with my few years of experience running a business, I tend to want to answer that question from a client perspective. Okay. And number one is how does Nabo Capital become a household name?
Yes.
That has been a very big pillar of success. I remember when we were setting up our first years, we would stay for 3 weeks without one walk-in customer. Today, I find people waiting, others are being served, and it really refreshes me, because even when I listen to the conversations, these are people who are very keen for us to hold their hand and help them to resolve this mystery of finances and save their families. That need is very big. So how do we get this name as far as possible? And today I'm glad there is nowhere I go within the country, outside Africa, quite a number of people know Nabo Capital. So that's one big driver of success. And I remember Dr. James Moore used to challenge me. He tell me, Pius, you cannot keep your business as a best kept secret.
Yeah.
And another thing he used to tell me also is that every business needs a personality. So your brand, your personal brand as a CEO, and the brand of the business, they tend to really work together. So you also need to have to be clear on what your identity is as a person, because people don't buy into a corporate brand. People buy into the person and the values that those people stand for.
Yeah.
So that's one. Number two, reaching customers is one. Number two is when is making sure that their money is safe. So operational, they call it the operational mountain. Operational capability or capacity is another key driver. Now, you can have a very big brand, but if you are operationally capped, you cannot be able to enjoy the capacity that your brand creates.
Yeah.
So it's very, very important that as you're building your brand, that you're also expanding your operational capacity. The third one is scaling. I call it the mountain of scaling. When you have your brand in place and you have your operational capacity in place, it gives you the freedom to go out there and really fulfill the mission of the business. That I want. So you ask me, what will I consider? What do I consider to be success for Nabo?
Yeah.
If we'll be the first fund manager, not removing ZD, with at least 1 million customers directly managed,
yes,
then it's a very big telltale sign of us breaking the barriers for fund managers in this country.
Yeah.
Because it means beyond our brand and beyond our operational capability, that we can now be able to stand with the giants in other industry, whether in banking or in telco, and we can be measured on the same platform.
Yeah.
So ability to scale, and this is the beauty about our fund management business. The largest fund management business is BlackRock. I think they have over $7 trillion. They are bigger than France and German economy combined. And what does that tell you? It tells you that the fund management business has the potential to scale beyond the GDP of its own country.
Yes.
So we are just in the foundation stages.
Yeah.
But we have to figure out how to scale.
Yeah.
And to scale without killing the business and without destroying the experience of our customers.
Let me ask you a question on that. Does that mean then, because that means you need to have the capital, right? But it also means you need to have the businesses to invest in. Do you feel like you are existing in an ecosystem, especially with an African context, that is creating enough businesses or has enough infrastructure that would allow for the growth that you guys would require to be able to create your wealth fund to be the size of a country's GDPs? Or is that a challenge?
It's a challenge. My quick
Short
answer is
answer,
that is a big challenge for any African fund manager to grow beyond a certain size, because we don't have large institutions or bankable projects that can absorb big ticket transactions. So one of the things that is clearly happening, and you can see, is that our customers are now hungry also to be globally exposed. So we are opening ourselves up, not just to African assets, but to global assets. And I think that sort of removes the cap to some extent. But if we are just looking at the African scope, we have some ways to go.
That's I guess unfortunate. But there's two other things I wanted to ask you, if you just allow me, before we finish. One was around I guess being a leader in tough times, right? Because you've led the business in a very difficult point in time in your life. As the CEO of Nabo Capital, during when you lost your beloved wife, how challenging was it to still run the company and go through, I guess, a really difficult time personally, still being the person who's supposed to be making the decisions, etc. Does it mean you find someone else to step in and make some of those decisions? Or are you still being expected to make those decisions? And how long does it take you to sort of come back and be able to be like, okay, now I can be Nabo Capital CEO again? Yeah.
I think you've mentioned the loss of my late wife. there are circumstances in life that when they hit you, they don't look at your preparedness. So I remember for the time that she was in hospital, I never showed up in office. So, and the lesson I learned from that was that you need the team and the systems. You need to start building a team and the systems from day one. And I think the aspiration of every leader should be to spread themselves in the team such that their absence cannot stall the business. At least they can continue as you can go through a rough patch,
Yes.
And survive. So my team really came through in a very very big way. People stepped in, people stepped up, but also the systems that we had set. We were able to report to our customers as we are supposed to. We were able to deliver returns to our customers as we should. Those decisions did not need my intervention, because the systems were already set. So I think for every entrepreneur, you should set up your business with the risks in mind. And that's very difficult for us as entrepreneurs, because we don't like to talk about risk. Yeah, but risk is part and parcel of the business,
process.
of the process. And at some point you'll get a hit. I remember we were also casualties of Chase Bank. That was another very very difficult time in my leadership, because we had other people's money locked in Chase Bank. And those were difficult conversations. I remember one of our customers who had closed a very big deal, and they wanted their money to earn from day one. So they asked, "Can you set me up?" And they were set up, and they were set up using a custody account that was in the name of Nabo. Then Chase Bank happened, and the name there was Nabo, not their name.
Yes.
When things are good,
What did that mean for your business?
Now the question was, whose money
is it that has been lost? So is he saying you have not lost me? You have lost your money, not mine?
My money. So those are moments that you learn what you can only learn in adversity.
Yeah.
You will never learn that lesson anywhere else.
Yeah.
So we went over it, and the claim stood where it belongs, but we learned our lessons. Don't just ride on the good times. Make sure that your setup is right.
Yeah.
And even when you're in a hurry to meet your customer needs, always make sure that you also have your checklist, and you make sure you close it.
Because how much are you haggling? Well, not haggling, but how much are you in that disagreement for? That must be like a lot of money.
It was a good amount.
A good sum of money.
It was a good sum of money. And we resolved it very amicably eventually.
Was that process more difficult than I know you've talked about, I don't know whether it was Safaricom or Airtel, when the share price dropped?
Yes. All of them, every shilling comes with a lesson. Yeah, all of them are very, 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 very tough. But I learned a very profound lesson with Chase Bank. The day before Chase Bank went down, me representing the customers who were depositors, the day it went down, we were no longer depositors, we were owners. We were taking full equity risk.
Yes.
In a bank that we did not want to own. And our money was no longer our money. And that distinction between the bank money and our money you only understand that when you go through a crisis like that one. So if you've heard me say before, I like saying money market fund is safer than a bank account any day. And I'll give the reasons here. Very simple. When you put money in a bank and they promise you to give you 10%, You cannot go and ask the bank, what did you do with my money to earn 10%? That's the end of conversation. As long as if they make 100%, none of your business. Because that money, once they take it, is no longer yours. It is their money. The only thing they owe you is the guarantees. We'll give you back your money and we'll give you a return. End of story. And that's why if you look at the balance sheet of a bank, it not only has its own capital, it also has all our money, the deposits, which we call the deposits. I think now we have 2 banks which are worth, each have a balance sheet of more than 2 trillion. Okay. So that's why banks' balance sheets are massive. Now, if you come to this other side, fund management business, when you put money in a money market fund, it does not come to Nabo Capital. It goes to money market fund, which is an entirely different entity. I am only a service provider to that money market fund. It goes to a custody account. And that custody account is in the name that carries all those customers, not me. So in the wildest event that Nabo is shut down, you would still find that
your money
in that custody account, and the regulator would only appoint another fund manager to run that custodial account. And there are so many. The other levels. I met people who had put 1 billion shillings plus in Chase Bank. One individual, 2-3 billion in Chase Bank. So Chase Bank goes under, and all that money is locked in. In a money market fund, you cannot put money in one bank. There is a limit of 25%, and we rarely touch the 25% limit. So in the wildest occurrence that we put a money market fund invest in a bank that goes under, you cannot lose 100% of your money. You get, compared to putting the money in a bank. So that's another layer of protection that is there. And I can go on and on. So when you look at it, and by the way, at the end of it, also very interesting, because money market funds, they owe the unit holders a report. Yeah, daily. You have to tell you what the return our product is making every day, and at the end of the month, we must send you a statement.
Yes.
So if when you invested in a money market fund, the rate was 9%, but we went to the market and we made 12%, guess what you'll get? 12%. Because that money is not our money. That money is your money. As guys, we only work for you. So that's the difference, and that's going through that crisis.
Yes.
Helped me to appreciate some of the things that I was taught in CFA.
Yes.
That putting money in the bank is the lowest risk. It may not be actually true in real life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Last question to just compound that. What then would you say has been your toughest day as managing director of Nabo Capital, and what happened on that day?
Oh, I've already just told you.
It was that one. It was that. I was saying whether it was that one or whether it was this.
There are many tough days.
Yeah.
Many tough days, but that was one of the most toughest days. I was actually in the gym at Hilton, 6 a.m. in the morning. And I walked into the changing room and I just had murmurs. People were murmuring, Chase Bank has been shut down. I was sick. That was a very, very tough day. Another tough day is when I was walking on Mamangina Street and I saw the newspaper headline saying Airtel slashes tariffs by 67%. And I had over 1 billion shillings invested in Safaricom. I knew exactly what that meant. I felt sick in my stomach instantly. The body interpreted information before the brain. And at the end of that circus, we made a loss of 160 million shillings just
160
to
million.
160 million just to exit.
And how quickly do you exit?
To exit, we had to within weeks. because it was not coming.
It was
Yes, the price was dropping. The first price I still remember was 560. The next price 550. We went all the way to 5 bob, which was the flop price of everybody. Everybody knew if we go below 5 bob, the whole market is at a loss. Someone from London just gave an order, sell everything at 14.90, and the floor opened. From there was no flow. We went to 2 shillings and 85 cents. Thank God, my last price I sold at 4 shillings. So I was able to go reallocate. But there are deep lessons that you learn from these challenges. And one of them was just when investment is always about taking risks. You cannot make a return without taking risks. So you need to be aware when the risk materializes, when you know the assumptions that you started with have changed, and you have to make decisions quickly. And taking a loss is not actually a bad decision. It is a good decision if it saves you money, further downside.
Yes.
Many of us, the way we are wired, are like, okay, I have lost. Let me wait until it will recover. It has a name. It's called get evenitis disease.
Just wait until
we get even again. But that removes power from you. It removes that ability to make decisions.
We are 2 hours in. Thank you so much for coming on to Financial Credit Business Edition and telling us about Nabo Capital and the history of it. This is your camera. This is where you can plug in the business, plug in anything you'd like to plug in. This is the people you speak to.
I mean, this has been an amazing conversation, and I can't live here without saying what my aspiration for all of you is. And my aspiration is very simple. How can we get you to make money while you sleep? And underline, while you sleep. That is the true measure of financial independence. If you are not there, if you cannot stay without your place of employment or your business for 6 months, then this is important that you start this process of weaning yourself off, depending on your salary or your business. And I've spoken a lot about investing with purpose. Please come visit us at our offices, International House. We will guide you. We'll come up with a roadmap of how you can get there. And of course, I cannot close without saying there's a very hot opportunity going on right now. It's very, very limited, and we do not want many people to miss, but it's available right now. Is a Trific USD REIT. You have the first opportunity to make money in USD while you're in Kenya, and not just make any return, but make the best return that is available at the moment in USD terms. So please visit our offices at International House, 5th floor, and we'll guide you on how to onboard yourself on the Trific REIT. It will be closing on June 12th. And therefore time is very limited. So come and we'll hold your hand and we walk this journey with you until you make money while you sleep.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you guys for rocking with us this Tuesday on Financially Incorrect Business Edition. We will see you 2 Tuesdays from now on the next episode of Financially Incorrect Business Edition.